pick a number on my side. Alright, so legendary. Everyone sees this mistake we're about to do? We'll try. Oh! No, I missed the no skill. Yeah, we got him. Oh, we're good. Who's this down here? What are you doing here? Oh. Oh, no!
Don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move.
Look for the car, Chief. You'll know it when you see it.
Hey, what's up y'all? I'm SuperLewis64 and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to go over a gaming challenge that most people thought was impossible. In fact, no one has ever attempted this challenge before. Today's challenge is beating Halo 3 on Legendary with a Guitar Hero controller. For those who don't know me, I've beaten Dark Souls with many crazy controllers, so beating Halo 3 with a Guitar Hero controller sounds right up my alley. So for those who don't know, Halo 3's Legendary mode is considered very difficult, and according to the achievement unlocked, it seems like not that many people have gotten through it. If you're trying to figure out how hard this run's going to be, imagine playing your favorite FPS on the hardest difficulty with a controller that doesn't even have joysticks. In fact, it doesn't even have enough buttons to play the game itself. Only one person has ever beaten a Halo game with a Guitar Hero controller, and that was Handles28. Although he beat it on easy mode, I can guarantee you that this was no easy feat. Mad props to Handles28 for even attempting a run like that. So before we go over today's challenge run, let's go over some rules just in case you want to attempt this run yourself. It might be obvious, but the difficulty must be set to Legendary. You can only play solo, no co-op, no friends, no skulls can be turned on, and of course, you must use a Guitar Hero controller. If you're wondering how I connected my guitar to my Xbox, it's actually not too hard. On the screen you'll see how the process works. All I did on my side was use an input converter to change some buttons around to match the game settings. And here's the button layout for my Guitar Hero controller. As you can tell, it is very hard to aim and move at the same time. Since the guitar itself doesn't have a joystick, I had to get very creative on how to map my movement and aiming onto it. Most of the challenge of this challenge run comes from this problem. Not being able to aim correctly against enemies who can kill you really fast is very tough to deal with. However, in the past I've actually beaten Dark Souls with a bunch of bananas, so adapting to a new controller scheme won't be the hardest thing for me. One last thing before we explain the run, I wanted to talk about the legitimacy of this run itself. Challenge runs like this are very easy to fake. Content creators can fake runs by uploading just the edited version of the runs on YouTube without showing the original footage, so there's actually no way you can tell if they cheated or not. The goal of this channel, and honestly the goal of my life, is to be as transparent as possible, and to stay true to the goal, I've actually uploaded the whole run on a second channel. The whole run was streamed on Twitch and Mixer, and all 12 hours of the run will be uploaded to another channel with little to no edits. The link will be in the description below. So at any point in this video, do you feel like I've cheated or it seemed way too easy? I cannot stress enough, you can just go to the other channel and watch the corresponding video to the level I'm talking about. With all that intro stuff out of the way, let's actually see if it is possible to beat Halo 3 on Legendary with a Guitar Hero controller. So we start today's video off at the second level of Halo 3's campaign, Crowsnest. And we're off to a great start. During this level you can start to realize how difficult Legendary actually is. On Legendary, the brutes and the jackals can kill you really fast and it feels very annoying to deal with them. Speaking of annoying, the drone section of this level was super gross. Being forced to use the Guitar Hero controller to aim at these fast bugs actually started to hurt my hand, so I had to be a little creative and use grenades to get past them. But for those Halo veterans watching the video, you already know that's not the hardest part of this level. The next section of this level actually gets harder because it's filled with multiple brutes in close corner combat. The brutes in this section get very annoying because they like to high-five your face using their carbines from a distance. If you try to take them on a close combat, they're going to call their manager to kick you out of the store. And in this case, the manager is actually a brute chieftain, and I know at this current state I cannot take that on with a Guitar Hero controller. So with the little IQ points left I have remaining, I had to devise a plan to get around them. After spotting some gravelites on the ground, I devised a plan to use that to get to the top part of the level. It took a couple tries, but eventually we got up there.
Okay, alright, test 2. I feel like coming up here isn't the correct idea.
I had to pump up my air Nikes and run as fast as possible to the door. You can even tell that Stream Lewis was running for his dear life.
Oh, we're gone. Yeah, no, we're gone. Nope, we good. Y'all can keep fighting. Oh, we could run past them. I'm gone. See you later, nerd. Goodbye.
Luckily, we met up with the Arbiter and head towards the men's locker room. From this point on, we use the Arbiter as cover as much as I can as I miss all my shots. I especially miss all my shots against those jetpack brutes. I hate those guys with a passion. Eventually the Arbiter had to go do Arbiter things and I was left to fend for myself. And as you can guess, that didn't go so hot. After Texas two-stepping on those sniper jackals, I was able to push forward without too many issues. Up next we reach another section of brutes, but this time I watched Space Jam, so I was able to shut up and jam them by throwing a bunch of grenades and hitting them with really cheesy sniper angles.
Like, I might be able to hit him here. The light intensity on this... Shit.
With the monsters defeated, I was able to rearm the bomb and run through the rest of the level. At this part of the level, you can practically just run to the end because most of the enemies will also be running for their life and they won't pay too much attention to you. And there we go, I reached the elevator at the end of the level and was able to beat Crowsnest on Legendary. Overall, the Crowsnest was a really good test of skill to see if I can even play this game on a Guitar Hero controller. However, the next level is Tazo Highway. In this case, I have to learn how to drive with a Guitar Hero controller and also not die at the same time. Although I never drove a car before with a guitar, I got used to the controls rather quickly. I originally thought I could just drive through everything, but I forgot how thick I was and I just ate every shot that came my way. Using the marine on the back of my Warthog, we were able to thin out just enough enemies to drive through. I pretty much have to rely on the marines on the back of the Warthog to get through this level. At some points I did have to get off the Warthog and go on foot to get through the objectives, but it wasn't too bad.
Science Kenya. Oh, why did we blow up?
But eventually we run into a roadblock for a Warthog. I didn't want to go with the Warthog because that'll make the run way easier if I still kept it, so we had to be a little creative to make a path to get the Warthog through. I also picked up a grav lift to guarantee our success to get over this hole.
Be in there.
Master Chief, finally a good connection.
And congratulations, we actually got over with the Warthog. Getting the Warthog over that jump is awesome because now we can use the Warthog to drive past most of our problems. Using the same game plan we did at the beginning of the level, we used the marines on the turret to take out as many enemies as possible. Eventually I landed one shot and I was able to end the level right there. Overall, I thought Tazo Highway would be a bit tougher, but I guess cheesing it with the Warthog definitely helped us out. Up next we head towards the next level, the Storm, and oh boy is that going to be a level. So we start off the level by saying goodbye to our favorite Warthog, which isn't too bad because now I get to practice my gun skills through the corridors of brutes and grunts ahead. Eventually we reach outside where I learn that ghosts are way stronger than I remember.
I kind of want that over there, but I gotta get through these guys first. Oh, that's right, ghosts kill really fast.
Luckily the marines are here to show me some tactical movement. The objective now is to take out the anti-air wraiths, and that shouldn't be too hard. All you have to do is get the missile pod to shoot at them. What can go wrong? Once the anti-air wraiths are down, I had to sneak up to the other wraith so I can take it out with my Fist of Fury. I had to blast my way through some more brutes, but we eventually reached my favorite vehicle in the game, the Mongoose. It was actually a ton of fun to blast through a bunch of enemies on my Mongoose, but all that fun and games went out the window as soon as the Scarab arrived.
Hey, there it is. So how do you beat the Scarab? Do you hit his feet or something? I don't remember.
And what makes it worse is that I have to take on a whole Scarab with just a Guitar Hero controller. So I had to run up the hill as fast as I could so I can fire the marine so I can take his missile pod. Using the missile pods, I literally broke the Scarab's ankles and I ran up the elevator as fast as I could. With the power of Allspice, I did the most majestic swan dive on top of the Scarab. I gave the enemies on top of the Scarab a high five with my bullets and then proceeded to attack the weak point.
I did it! No, get me off! Come on, we gotta go!
And there we go guys, that's the first Scarab to ever be taken down with a Guitar Hero controller, on Legendary 2. But you know what? The level is still not over. So I thought the Scarab part was going to be the hardest part of this level, but just kidding, there's actually 2 hunters up ahead. Yes, 2. I don't know why there's 2, but now I have to take on 2 hunters with my Guitar Hero controller. At least the Arbiter's here to be the tank of the team. With him around, I'm able to shoot the hunters in the back as I kept swinging on him. Luckily, the rest of the level is pretty straightforward because all you have to do is push through a bunch of brutes and grunts to get to the anti-air gun. I also caught the Arbiter doing something weird. I don't know if this is one of those Arbiter things the Arbiter does, but I have no idea what this is. Either way, we found the weak spot of the turret and completed the level. Overall, the level is pretty fun, especially fighting the Scarab, and I think that's probably the biggest achievement of this run so far. But up next, we have to take on a pretty annoying level called the Floodgate. So we start off Floodgate by fighting the Flood, and turns out it's pretty tough. In fact, let's just ask Streamlewis how it's going.
Back it up! Oh, take one of these! No.
I haven't played Halo 3 since 2007, and I completely forgot how annoying the Flood are. They like to jump from the ceiling and eat your bullets, and I don't like that at all. And you know what? Fuck this Flood in particular. I don't know the name of this Flood, so I'm going to refer to it as the Shooter Flood, but this Flood type is super annoying. Not only does this Flood shoot you with pinpoint accuracy, it takes a lot of bullets, so imagine being on a Guitar Hero controller and spending almost 3 to 5 minutes killing one particular Flood. Outside of the annoying Flood, this level is relatively short compared to the other ones, because as soon as you fight all the Flood on this area, you just jump down a hole and the level's pretty much over. Floodgate was definitely the easiest level to run, but I'm not going to spend too much time on it. If you want to see more of the level itself, definitely hit up the playlist in the description below. And I'm glad that this level is pretty easy because the next level coming up is going to test my Guitar Hero skills to the max. And oh man, the next level is the Arc. I am not ready for this level. So this level starts off pretty hard because you have to take on a ton of brutes on some really sloppy terrain. The terrain was kind of hard to navigate through and I died multiple times at this part.
No, I can't move. I had a hiccup.
And if fighting through all those brutes weren't hard enough, the next group of brutes actually have a ton of hunters with them too, so I have to deal with them while also fighting the brutes. Like most of my life problems, I decided to run away from the brutes and the hunters by running up the hill on the side. For whatever reason, this brute on the top of the hill decided to deploy its bubble shields, and that allowed me to run through most of the enemies unharmed. Thanks brute, you're the man. After running past all of my high school bullies, I finally meet up with my favorite walking ammo boxes. The fun was short-lived because I have to now fight a bunch of brutes on a ton of vehicles. I ran to the down pelican as fast as I could so I can pick up some bubble shields and rocket launcher ammo so I can take on the brutes in the vehicles. When I ran out of rocket launcher ammo, I decided to take the rest out with my trusty battle rifle. And look at that, I found my favorite vehicle again, the Mongoose. And I love the Mongoose so much, I decided to throw it off the cliff as soon as I found a chopper. I will say using a chopper on a Guitar Hero controller reminded me of playing Twisted Metal. It was really fun, and it was really fun just standing around shooting at people who couldn't really shoot back. I arrived to whatever this is, and I guess I helped some Covenant commit life insurance fraud. There was also a Warthog with a Marine in it, so I decided to jump in and drive through the level as fast as I could. Once again, I forgot how dummy thick I was, and I got immediately filled with plasma bullets as soon as we drove by the enemy.
This song's so good.
Using a bit of math, I decided to take out the enemies from a distance using the fuel rod I picked up earlier in the level. Once my fuel rod was depleted, I decided to take out the rest using the chopper I used earlier in the level as well.
Maybe the second ghost. Hello? Hello? Oh, hello? Marine? Dude?
I have no idea where that Marine came from, but once he went down the hill, I decided to push with him. And finally, my Amazon delivery finally came through and dropped me off some prime shipment. And oh yeah, it's the Scorpion tank, y'all. I've been waiting for this from the start of the run. And oh my god, how much fun it is to use the Scorpion tank, especially on a Guitar Hero controller. All you have to do is just point the gun at the enemy, strum your guitar, and boom, they're dead. And unlike the Wraiths, I don't have to do any math to hit things, so take that nerds. But like most things in life, good things come to an end, and I had to ditch the Scorpion to run through the complex. And I felt like to rub salt in the wound. As soon as I escaped the Scorpion, I ran straight into another Scarab. At least my Uber was here to pick me up, and this time my Uber had a Gauss turret. I told my Uber to take me to the nearest Scorpion tank, and without fail there was one waiting for me just down the street. This point of the level tested my Guitar Hero skills because I had to take out as many enemies as possible in my Scorpion tank before I had to take on the Scarab. And if this was any other difficulty level, I would have just used my Scorpion tank to take out the Scarab. But since we are legendary, my Great Value tank could only take a couple bullets from the Scarab before it blew up. I had to practically jump out of my tank a couple times just to shoot the legs because staying in the tank just was an immediate death. Once the legs were taken out, I had to ass Creed myself all the way up to the weak point. In one of the most stressful escapes ever, I downed another Scarab with just my Guitar Hero controller.
Please? Checkpoint, please? Checkpoint, please? Yeah!
To celebrate the event, I met up with my good old friend Arbiter with my Victory Warthog. Also, don't tell anybody, but I found out you can just drive your Warthog through these doors up ahead. This pretty much made every encounter inside super easy to deal with. At some points you do have to use a little bit of creativity to get through some of the doors. Eventually, you will reach a point where your Warthog's too thick to get through. Once we get to the bungee button, the Arbiter will have to leave to go do Arbiter things again. I had to relearn the hard way that brutes are really good at close corners, so whenever I had the chance to run away, I decided to use it to my advantage. I did make sure I pick up the cloaking device in the next room because using the cloaking device, it makes it really easy to kill the brute chieftain coming up.
You don't see me. Haha, we gone.
I did what anyone else would have done and picked up the gravity hammer and just started going in on the brutes. You can actually bait the brutes to come towards you if you hang out in the back of the level, and that made it really easy just to clean up the rest of the brutes. Once we gave the last brute the bane hammer, we finally made it to the Pelican and ended the level. Overall, the Ark was a pretty tough level to get through, but the pain train doesn't stop here because the next level is the Covenant. So the Covenant starts off with a bang as you have to fight your way through a ton of brutes and grunts just to get to your Warthog. And again, I make the stupid mistake of trying to run through everything on my Warthog. I thought I could just drive the Warthog straight into the bunker, but I guess I'll let you see what happens next.
Get 'em boys. Man, I don't have a grenade like I thought I did. Oh. Just ignore everything.
Our next strategy was to weaken the Wraith by Tokyo drifting around it the whole time. Once we stole the Wraith, we used a bunch of math equation to clear the bunker out. And I have some bad news, y'all. The Warhog cannot fit through this door at all. So on foot, I decided to use my cloaking device so I can hardcore parkour all the way to the elevator in the middle of the room. I didn't realize it was my birthday, but as soon as I got to the top of the elevator, I was thrown a surprise birthday party by a bunch of brutes. Using the needler, I made quick work of all the brutes that tried to fight me. And for whatever reason, the Brute Chieftain just didn't move, so I got some free headshots on him. Up next, I pressed the bungee button and returned back to my Warthog. The next part of the level is pretty crazy because now you have access to the Hornets, and I haven't flown these since 2007, let alone on a Guitar Hero controller. After doing some quick flight tests, I decided to head into battle and see how good I could do.
That's not how you shoot it. Oh my gosh, the A just hit me like crazy. Oh my gosh.
And I didn't last too long. There's no way I was going to win a dogfight, so I had to fly past everybody as fast as I could to reach the next bunker. Unfortunately, I find myself at the worst possible checkpoint in the entire run. So this checkpoint forces you to spawn in front of these brutes no matter what you do, so every death you have to find a new creative way to get past the next brute that will eventually kill you. With enough deaths, I finally pushed through.
Alright, 3, 2, 1. yeah, brother. We got.
If you thought that checkpoint was dumb, the next room is really dumb because now you have to fight a swarm of drones, and guess what? More hunters. So I said, fuck that shit, and ran to the exit as fast as I could. But one of the hunters heard about Copa and decided to stop me from uploading this video. So I challenged this hunter to some basketball, and I broke his ankles while dodging him back and forth. And yet again, another surprise brute birthday party. The difference this time around is the Brute Chieftain wanted to give me a big ol' hug. I told the brute no, but then his brute.exe stopped working, and I decided to kill him really easily. I decided to hit the last bungee button of the level, and I decided to head out. You can pretty much run past most of the enemies here, because they won't really look at you. Now we come to an important choice of this run. Do I take the tank, or do I take the Gauss Warthog? I took the tank, y'all. I had a bad feeling about this part because they gave me a Hornet again just after I took my tank. And I was correct because as soon as I took the Hornet, 2 Scarabs appeared. We all saw what happened to me earlier when I used a Hornet, so this time around I decided just to fly over the Scarab and just jump off on top of it. I blasted my way through all the enemies to get to the weak point, and bit bop bam, shut up and jam, we took out the Scarab. Since my Hornet exploded in the last Scarab, I had to borrow Marine's Gauss turret so we could take out the legs of the next Scarab. And just like that, I was able to take out both Scarabs on a Guitar Hero controller. And I don't know about y'all, but this level is taking way too long. Again, now I have to push through another wave of brutes and grunts, but at least we get to see the best cutscene in the game.
So, you must be silenced.
The prophet defeated the other side of the storm. Luckily, the Arbiter was here and he did the Arbiter things with his energy sword to take out most of the enemies. Even the Sentinels came by to help us out, and with their help, we were able to escape the storm. With one of the hardest levels completed, we finally move on to the end game, Cortana. Like most flood levels in the game, the Cortana levels is just very annoying to deal with. And just like the other flood levels, not that many things happen in this level, so this segment is going to be pretty short. The general strategy to beat Cortana is just to run past everything because aiming with a guitar is just hard. But this time around, you'll have access to the energy sword, which pretty much one-shots most of the flood in this level. There will be times in this level where you do have to bunker down and shoot back at the flood, which I consider really annoying to do because those dumb-ass shooter floods are back. Did I mention that these shooter flood are super annoying to deal with? If I haven't, they're super annoying to deal with. Every corner you turn, there's just another shooter flood, and sometimes when you're fighting the shooters, a flood can just sneak up on you and almost kill you, so it becomes super annoying to deal with. After dying over and over again, we finally reach the engine room. At this point of the level, it's a very straightforward path to reach Cortana. God, are we done with this level yet? It's still going. Once we pick up Cortana, we blow up the ship engines and escape High Charity. Yet again, another section of just running past your enemies, at least until you reach this group of flood. They actually won't let you run past them, so you actually have to fight through them. But all that dumb fighting is finally worth it because you get to meet up with your friendly neighborhood Arbiter and leave the level. And once we get on the Pelican, the level is finally over, and thank God that level was annoying and boring. The best part about beating Cortana is that we're finally at the last level of the run, Halo. This is it, y'all. We are at the final level of our Guitar Hero Controller Legendary Halo 3 run. The whole Guitar Hero Controller run comes down to this, and of course we started off with a bang. I have to take on an onslaught of flood-infected enemies that test my Guitar Hero skills to the max. With the help of the Arbiter, it wasn't too hard to get through most of the flood. Honestly, it wasn't the flood that was the hardest part of this segment of the run. It was actually Sergeant Johnson team killing me over and over again that kept me from proceeding forward. I've personally never seen this happen before, but at least Sergeant Johnson will get to him what's coming. Eventually we reached the tower defense portion of this level, and it was very tough to get through. I must have had some pretty bad luck because the flood kept going towards my deployable turret, so I had to take them out with just my Guitar Hero controller. It was definitely a grind because taking that many flood type enemies with my Guitar Hero controller in this close of corners was very tough to deal with. Thanks to the bubble shield I found on the ground, we finally meet up with Johnson to turn off Halo. After Johnson takes a high five from a laser, I have to take down Guilty Spark by myself. Fighting Guilty Spark wasn't too hard, but overall it was a sad battle because we have to say rest in peace to Sergeant Johnson. After saying goodbye to Sergeant Johnson, I pressed F on my keyboard and decided to leave Halo. There was a short period of having to deal with some flood on the way to the Warthog, but if you made it this far in the video, you know I just kinda ran past everybody. And holy Long John Silvers, y'all, we finally made it to the Warthog. It's Warthog time, y'all, it's the end of this level. I was so excited for this part of the run. Even though it's been 12 years since the game came out, this segment still holds up with one of my favorite scenes of any game ever. And as you can expect, it was pretty tough on a Guitar Hero controller. I did a really good job falling through every hole I saw. But instead of talking over this part of the run, let's just sit back and watch history being made in front of us.
There. Don't shoot the Sentinel. What were you doing? This is the ramp I'm supposed to take, because I'm jumping it, y'all. Oh, that was anticlimactic. Get off the vehicle. Oh no! No. Excuse me, sir. Okay, we're in there. Oh no, don't flip. Okay. That was actually all on purpose. What did I just hit? What is happening? We won't let a death stop us there. No! Okay, no more Tokyo Drift, This way? Like a hard left turn or something. Alright, this is it. This is the end of the run, y'all. I think we got it. There's nothing that can mess us up. Oh, we got it. Done it! Yo, it's it. We're done. We're actually done. That is the entirety of Halo 3 on Legendary with a Guitar Hero controller. That's it. I can go to sleep now. I don't have to stream anymore. Holy crap. That's everything. We are done.
If we don't make it,
We'll make it.
Oh my gosh.
it's been an honor serving with you.
And there we go, guys. I did it. I beat Halo 3 on Legendary with a Guitar Hero controller. Hey, and I even got a rare gem for doing so. After 12 hours and 252 deaths, I defeated the run that people thought was impossible to do. I haven't felt this excited since I beat Dark Souls with a dance pad many years ago. For those who made it to the end of the video, thank y'all for watching. This was really fun to make and it was so much fun doing the run as well. Sorry it took almost a month to make this video. I actually completed the run earlier in November. However, with all the Copa things going around and my life being too busy, I had to make a new channel and deal with a ton of drama. If you want to see more challenging runs in the future, feel free to subscribe and hit that bell. This is just the beginning of my channel, and if you think that run was crazy hard, I have plenty of challenge runs ready to go. If you want to help out the channel and support future crazy runs, feel free to share the video. Any view helps. If you have any crazy controller challenges or any challenge runs in general, please leave a comment below. With Halo Reach coming out on PC next week, I have a couple challenge runs I wanted to do. But until then, I am SuperLewis64, thank you for being a part of gaming history, and I'll catch y'all in a future video. Until then, make sure you pay your taxes, be cool, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.